Hi guys, welcome to the Eastern Cape paper. So this is the Eastern Cape paper for the year 2023. We are also going to be focusing on the cost accounting adjustments. Alright, so I'll try not to do the entire thing. I'll just do certain adjustments so that we can see how we would have done these adjustments. So we're looking at question number 2. Question number 2, and then here we are required to calculate the factory overhead cost, and then we should also prepare the production cost statement. All right, so we're gonna just try and see if we can do the entire thing all at the same time, if it is possible, so that we can be able to save our time. Let's begin. We are given here work in progress at the beginning. So that means that comes to my production cost statement, and there it was given. I was also given work in progress at the end. I know when I come to work in progress closing, I should put it in brackets. That is my 23,600 over there in brackets. And then I'm given factory indirect material. So that comes to my factory overhead cost. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say my indirect materials. And then I open my bracket. My opening stock is 12,700, and then my closing stock is 9.3. I'm going to come back to it, that one there. Materials used in the factory for production. So once material is used in the factory for production, it comes to your production cost statement, but there it is given already for me. So I've done that one. The next one is indirect materials purchased for use in the factory. So I'm now coming here to say that indirect material that was purchased, I'm going to edit here, then I'm going to say plus your 87,600. Then I say minus the 9,300. And then I can close this bracket, therefore, and then I end up with 91,000. I end up with 91,000 over there. Okay, so I've done this part already. The next one says factory sundry expenses. All right, so this one was already given to me. It was already put in the answer book already, so I don't have to stress about that one. Then it says salaries and wages. The production wages was not given. Okay, let's go on. Factory cleaning staff. So once I have my factory cleaning staff, I'm coming here. So this is my factory cleaning staff. I'm going to open my bracket and I have my 48,510. Remember, we always open bracket. 48,510. We always open bracket. And then with salaries and wages for administration, this one would go to your abridged income statement. So I'm not going to record this one. And then sales, this also goes to your abridged income statement if we were doing the abridged income statement. Then we have rent expense. So I'm going to come here and then I'm going to say my rent expense, that is 126,000. That is my rent expense over there. Then I also have my water and electricity. I open my bracket. My water and electricity is 82,000. There is my water and electricity. Then I also have my insurance. And then my insurance, I open bracket. That is 33,600. Then the adjustments then proceed as follows. Wages of the factory cleaning staff was omitted from the February 2023 journal. Details are as follows. Okay, so once you see wages have been omitted, it is very important that you know that we adjust the gross. All right, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to say the wages of the cleaning staff. Remember, in here we recorded the cleaning staff. So I'm going to come now, I'm going to add on the factory cleaning staff. I'm going to say plus the gross wage. I'm going to add the gross wage. That is my 4,200 plus 4,200. And the contributions. So total contributions are 210. I'm going to come and say plus 210. So if you're given the deductions plus the net, you should have added these two to come back to get the gross. So always remember, we add the gross and the contributions, the gross and the contributions. Let's go on to the next one. 2/3 of the rent expense relates to the factory. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say this, then I want to get 2/3 of that because that is what relates to the factory, and I'm going to end up now with 84,000 over here. Okay, so if I close this bracket there, I was going to get 52,920, 52,920. Okay, I'm going to close it such that I'm able to complete the production cost statement as well. The next one then says, an amount of 7.4 is still outstanding for water and electricity. So once we know an amount is outstanding, we come, then we add it, plus 7,400. That is outstanding. All right. Then we say the factory uses 65%. So like I did in the other paper, I think that was the Free State paper, I would want to encourage you to add these amounts before you can allocate, so that you just know how much that is. So if you add this, it should give you 89,400. Then you can come to the next part of the adjustment, which says this should have been allocated in the ratio of 4:2:1. So you this is water and electricity. Okay, I'm talking about the 65%. Sorry, 65%. So I'm coming here, then I get the 65%. Okay, this one was for insurance. This one is for insurance. So here we're still on the water and electricity. Okay, so we're getting 65% over there. All right, and then once we get the 65%, we end up with 58,110. Now let's come and do the insurance adjustment that we had skipped to. Insurance has been paid from 1 March to 30 June. Remember, it should have been from 1 March to 28 February. So once we pay to 30 June, that means we've paid 4 months in advance. In total, we've paid for 16 months. All right. So the quickest way was to simply say the insurance amount, which is your 33.6, multiply this by 12 over 16 because we want the 12 months. Okay, multiply by 12 over 16, then it will give you your 25,200. Someone would have simply said 33.6, divide this by 16, and then you would then get an amount, then you multiply that amount by 4, then I think you'd end up with 8,400. Then you say 33.6 minus the 8,400, it should take you back again to 25,200. Then you take that 25,200, then you say it should be allocated 4 plus 2 plus 1, that's 7. So it's 4 over 7, multiply by 4 over 7. And that would give you an amount that is 14,400. Okay, so if you add all of this, then it should give you 366,000. 366,000. Once you have your 366,000, you then come to your production cost statement. Remember, that is where we are going. And then you come just under your prime cost. Then you say plus factory overheads, plus your factory overheads. And then your factory overhead cost was your 366,000. So you add your factory overhead cost, which is 366. All right, let's continue. So once you have that one, you'd find that information D now says the business manufactured 10,500 kit bags at cost of 112.80. So the examiner can bring you this one, or at times they can bring you the finished goods together with a markup. So that is another option that the examiner brings this adjustment, whereby they give you the number of units and the cost per unit, or they just give you the opening stock of finished goods and the closing stock and the markup as well. Then they also give you more information about sales so that you can open a finished goods stock account and get this amount. However, in this question, we were supposed to come here and we were supposed to now say how many units were produced, 10,500, and then what was the cost price per unit, 112.80. So once we multiply those figures, we should get 1,184,400. And then we're going to do calculations going up now. I know you guys, some of you call it the bottom up method. So let's do that one. So we are having this. Once we go up, we do the opposite. So it's 1,184,000 plus 23.6 plus 23.6. So you're going to end up with 1,200,000. 208,000. 1,208,000. Then we're doing the opposite. Then you minus your 35,400. So you're going to end up with 1,172,600. Remember, we are going up, so we do the opposite. So we said 1,208,000 minus your 35.4. Then we get this one. So once we get here, we're going up again. So we do the opposite again, minus. So it's 1,172,600 minus 366,000. And once we do that, we end up now with 806,600. 806,600. Then you now say, if you are to get your direct labor cost, you are simply saying your prime cost, which is 806,600 minus the 374,500. That should give you your 432,100. This is how you'd have completed now the production cost statement. I'll see if I get time that I can be able to do the break-even questions just in one video, and then I'll send them through. Okay, so this was the Eastern Cape paper.